I remember the 22-23 season when Saliba had his back injury and Tomiyasu had another painful injury around the same time. To me, Saliba going down was the true reason why Arsenal didn't win the league that year. For years, it hasn't been addressed, weirdly so, given the importance of William Saliba. Arsenal have been so lucky as Saliba's played the majority of Arsenal games in the last 2 seasons, only getting injured towards the end of the 24-25 season. But with Tomiyasu agreeing to be released, Timber and White being our right backs having their own injury problems of their own, there was no way Arsenal to go into the season not buying a right centre back to compete and cover for William Saliba. Gabriel on the left has both Kiwior and Calafiori to help ease the burden, especially after the back of his hamstring injury, and it's been Saliba or no one, but now it's someone, and that someone is Cristhian Mosquera. For the price that we're getting for him, the potential that he has to keep growing and push Saliba, I'm going to break down the player, I'm going to break down his traits, I'm going to break down his strengths, his fit in Arsenal, and why he's an important signing for Arsenal. If you're new or you're returning and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, I'm on the road to 1,000 subs. Smash the like button down below, comment down below with all your thoughts, and I'll give you a second to subscribe.
Thank you so much.
And let's get into this. At 21 and at 6'2", with a very big frame, Mosquera is a Spain under-21 international, having recently played at Euros 2025, and is a Valencia Academy graduate. From what I've been able to see, he's very fast, very strong, and a good ability to play on the ball with both feet. Mosquera has played the most minutes of any under-21 player in Europe over the last 2 seasons, playing 41 games in 24-25 and 39 games in 23-24. He played over 3,000 minutes in 24-25. Already an experienced veteran of the game, joking. But obviously, despite his age, Arsenal are buying a prospect who's played many games against the likes of Yamal, Vinicius Jr., Lewandowski and Mbappe last season. Being Spanish, let's look at his stats on the ball. He ranks in the top 20% in Europe's top 5 leagues for pass completion at 90.5% and the top 18% for long passes completed at 68.1%. He does rank in the middle 50% for progressive passes into the final third, and his total passing distance. Looking at this, clearly Mosquera isn't a Saliba level ball player, but he's an adequate one who knows his game and knows how to keep it simple and tidy. His long pass accuracy is a good thing, and it tells me that if he sees a switch, he'll be able to play it, which adds this transition to Arsenal style of play, which we need obviously to help our forwards get into the attacking positions quicker. Despite him not being, a high progressive passer, he does rank in the top 20% for progressive carries at 0.95 per 90 and the top 30% for progressive carry distance. Similar to Calafiori, we may see a lot of marauding ones from Cristhian Mosquera. Looking at his off the ball stats, he ranks in the top 8% for ball recoveries at 5.15 per 90, top 7% for percentage of dribblers tackled at 77.5%, and top 14% for challenges lost at 0.24 per 90. He's described as a guarding defender, a centre back great when out wide against tricky forwards, but also playing in a high line with the ability to cover space and defend with patience due to being in so many 1v1 scenarios. His high stats for ball recoveries and dribbles tackles tells me that he does well in dual situations, especially having to run back to his goal and tackle. We saw that example against Villarreal where I think Danjuma got his goal, but you saw how quick Mosquera's recovery pace was. He almost got there, which is interesting. He's almost always very well positioned, hardly makes mistakes and keeps it simple, and obviously likes to read the game and get those last minute interventions that we see Gabriel and Saliba do very much. He just reminds me of a right-footed Gabriel, similar age that we bring him into the club, similar type of raw traits, very great defender, maybe not the best on the ball or not like the most elite on the ball, but a great defender nevertheless, passionate player and definitely coachable. Tactically, I think he's a player with great intelligence and understanding of the game, and it's something very unusual of his age given the fact he's only 21, but given the fact that he's experienced and played a lot of games, I'm pretty sure the level of calmness and atmosphere that he has in Arsenal will allow him to grow into an elite defender. So let's talk about how Mosquera will fit in at Arsenal. Given that he's a natural right centre back, a lot of his minutes will come here in games where Saliba may be rotated out, or in games where he's going to start and Saliba's going to be given a rest. But he also can play left centre back, but given Arsenal's stack of defenders in there, I doubt he's going to be used there often. He will offer a complementary partner to the likes of a Calafiori or a Kiwior, who are a bit more of the ball playing players and can be more the aggressive one, similar to how the dynamic between Gabriel and Saliba is. Playing alongside a player like Timber or White, given his elite qualities in defending, will allow them to be a bit more riskier going forward, supporting the likes of Saka or Madueke, who might be starting out there to overlap and underlap and just be in that zone, which can obviously cause more concern for their position, given the fact there's another player obviously overlapping and underlining on the right hand side. With his long range passing, giving switches to like of Martinelli, God willing, maybe a Leao or or Eze outside on the left hand side to give them 1v1s early to try and take on their man and get shots off would be a very, very good trait that is needed at Arsenal as well. So I'm just very excited by obviously his ability to come in, allow Saliba to rest. We saw him live in the flesh in the preseason so far. He's looked quite tidy, quite simple, very cultured on the ball, but you can tell his physical attributes will get there. He'll be testing against, Premier League strikers and attackers, but I think obviously with his experience, I'm very confident that he can come in and obviously do well. Let's talk about why Mosquera is a very important signing. Saliba has never had any backup in our team. Tomiyasu couldn't stay fit for the majority of his time as he was here, and obviously having a left-footed player like Calafiori or Kivio that's covered in that right centre back position isn't ideal. To me, this wrong position was one of our most important signings because of the long-term possibility that Saliba could get a long-term injury and not having any cover there, and our title race will be done if that happens. Given his age as well, he has a lot of time to learn. Obviously he's not going to be pushing for a starting position in sense of like upsetting behind closed doors. Given the price that we got him for about 30 million, I think that's great. So eventually if Arsenal was to sell him, we probably will sell him for a profit, which is the way I want the club to be moving at, and I like that we're still buying these young prospects that we can build in our way. So it's a great deal for Arsenal, and I think it's just very, very important because Saliba is one of our main players. Any concerns about the deal? See, with his age, he's gonna have to adapt to obviously coming to Premier League, new country, doesn't speak the language. He's gonna have to adapt quickly, but with a lot of Spanish contingent at Arsenal, I'm not really worried about that. He needs to improve early. His shots being blocked and clearances need to improve. He won't have time on the ball that he has in the Liga with the press that Premier League teams deploy, but I'm sure he'll be fine in the air. But he definitely needs to improve. We've seen the likes of Ben White and Saliba struggle in the beginning and then improve. So in summary, I believe the price we pay for Mosquera is a steal, and his age and experience level and the quality defenders that he'll be around will allow him to learn and play and impact us instantly. Being a Spanish international, he has the likes of Zubimendi, Merino and Raya to help him settle in, and Arsenal should have a quality centre back for years to come, and someone that, if so as I said, should make a lot of profit. Finally, the Saliba signing, the Saliba death. God is great, if you get what I mean. Comment down below what you think about Mosquera. Comment down below what you think about the player, what I've said, and like this video, subscribe to the KAPE channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.